Why are all the color analysts and studio hosts women? What are the networks afraid of? The only males you will find on a national broadcast now are young up-and-comers doing play-by-play. I don't hear a whole lot of differing opinion or debate. It all comes off as safe and monotone and cookie-cutter, especially when it comes to controversial topics. All of it feels like a girls' club, the media protecting the league from real scrutiny or critique.
Ric Bucher, have you been watching Uncle KC? Have you been taking good notes as the handsome professor delivers his lecture? Because we have been talking about the substandard coverage of basketball, both real and make-believe. We have been talking about ESPN substandard coverage of the NBA, and especially the WNBA, for years. When Monica McDougal, who was so unconvincing as a make-believe basketball player that there was not a single team in the WNBA willing to draft her, do you know how bad you have to be to go undrafted in the WNBA? This is the same league that claims Angel Reese is an historic player. Angel Reese, who blames a strong wind every time she misses an uncontested layup. Oopsies! I failed to account for the very strong wind that was coming out of the north-south. When Monica McNutt is the face of your WNBA coverage, you have a serious problem. According to Ric Bucher, ESPN is trying to protect the WNBA from criticism, from scrutiny. Now, to his credit, Rick is a lot more professional than Uncle KC because I prefer to call it polishing the turd. And ESPN has gotten really good at disguising the unbelievably bad basketball in this league. Sunday afternoon, Indiana Clarks are playing the Atlanta Dreamers on ESPN. Rebecca Lobo was calling the game, which means she was sitting courtside. She was as close as you could get to being exposed to the bad basketball in this league. She was sitting a few feet away as she watched Angel Reese miss 11 layups. Now, I'm not talking about missing 11 layups in a week, in a month. Angel Reese missed 11 layups in 38 minutes. According to my calculations, that's one missed layup every 3 to 4 minutes? I guess the WNBA is partially right. Angel Reese is an historic player. She is historically bad. Yesterday, Rebecca Lobo appeared on SportsCenter to break down this very poor performance from Angel Reese. Now, you gotta remember, Angel Reese had the opportunity to hit the game-winning layup in the final seconds of the game on Sunday, and she missed so badly, Caitlin Clark was laughing at her, which means Uncle KC was not the only one laughing throughout this game on Sunday. Yesterday, Rebecca Lobo appeared on SportsCenter to give her expert analysis. If ESPN provided honest coverage of the WNBA, this would be the easiest segment of the season. On paper, Angel Reese looks good statistically, but if you actually punish yourself by watching these games, it is abundantly clear that Angel Reese has no idea how to play basketball professionally. Instead of providing honest coverage, producers at ESPN supplied Rebecca Lobo with a supersized container of polish, and Becky proceeded to develop arthritis in her elbow while polishing this turd. Watch it for yourself.
I think we've almost taken for granted Angel Reese as a rebounder. When you look at what she is doing in terms of her career, she's averaging 12.5 rebounds per game in her career. We don't have another player in their career who averaged double-digit rebounds. What she is doing on the glass continues to be historic and puts her in line to be the best rebounder this league has ever seen. Yes, is her scoring up? Yes, is she doing more things on the offensive end of the floor? But we are not talking enough, and that sounds crazy, but we're not, about the historic nature of what she's doing.
No one is denying the fact that Angel Reese is an elite rebounder. No one is denying the fact that Angel Reese is a great role player. The problem with Angel Reese, she wants to be the star, and ESPN keeps pretending that Angel is a huge star. You know, ESPN isn't doing the WNBA any favors by disguising the litany of problems in this league. It is extremely rare for someone to get better when they're constantly receiving false validation. Think about it. If you're doing the bare minimum at your job, if your performance is substandard and your boss is consistently praising you, he's giving you awards for substandard performer of the year, he's giving you a raise, average WNBA player went from making minimum wage, which was being distributed in pesos, to making $600,000 a year. Are you going to improve? Are you going to look for ways to get better? Or are you going to follow the advice of Dennis Allen and keep doing what you're doing? Why would the WNBA improve their on-court product when ESPN keeps pretending like it's amazing? I really don't understand this from ESPN's perspective, because their dishonest coverage of the WNBA, it damages the credibility of the network. One of the reasons Inside the NBA is so popular, they are brutally honest. Now, does it piss off Adam Silver? At times, does it aggravate and maybe even offend NBA players? Sure, but that's fine. Sometimes it's good to be offended. For years, the NBA was crucified for load management. Have you noticed that we rarely hear about load management anymore? You ever wonder why? The NBA got tired of hearing the criticism, so they did something about it. Meanwhile, the WNBA and their besties at ESPN, they go out of their way to shield their pretend victims from any and all criticism. And look at the end result. This is year 3 for Angel Reese. Year 3. And she has yet to improve. She's basically the same player that she was as a rookie. And why in the hell would Angel Reese improve? She has ESPN and her pretend friends in the media consistently telling her how great she is. Oh, my heavenly angel, you are so great, fantastic, phenomenal. There aren't enough adjectives to describe your historic rise to greatness. People are not stupid. I don't know if ESPN knows this, but we also have eyes. Uncle KC has 20/20 vision. I am not an NBA analyst, but I do watch a lot of basketball. I know the difference between a great player and a role player. I know the difference between a real basketball player and a pretend basketball player. ESPN is in desperate need of honest coverage for the WNBA. It doesn't have to be ruthless, as it is how I cover the league. I know I am relentlessly harsh on the pretend basketball in the WNBA, but I've always been upfront. I've always been honest with you guys. From the very beginning, I have told you, I don't like this league. I don't like pretend basketball. Talking about the WNBA is a job for me. It's not something that I do for fun. I tell you that I don't make a habit of watching WNBA games. Clearly, the so-called analysts at ESPN, they're not watching either. They're either not watching or they are lying. Either way, it ain't good for ESPN, and it's damn sure not good for the league. I can't take Monica McNutt seriously. Shanae Agwumike has no credibility. Have you seen the basketball in the WNBA? Wowzer! This basketball is beautiful! What is beautiful about it? Most of the time, the basketball in this league is an absolute eyesore. Oftentimes, it is painful to watch 4 quarters of pretend basketball. Are there some good players in the WNBA? Yes. Hell, there are even some great players. A'ja Wilson, great player. But just like Angel Reese, A'ja Wilson is miscast by ESPN. Have you seen A'ja Wilson? She is the face of the league. No, she is a face in the league. For most of America, she's an anonymous face. Through no fault of her own, A'ja Wilson has been cast as the face of the WNBA. Problem is, no one believes it. So when they think of A'ja Wilson, they automatically think of a lie. Look, I don't get everything right. Last month, The Odyssey was released in theaters. For weeks leading up to its release, I thought The Odyssey would be a huge embarrassing failure. I thought the film was going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars. I was wrong. The Odyssey was a major success. I don't always get things right, but when I'm wrong, I'll tell you, I'm wrong. But one thing about me, whether right or wrong, if I say it, I mean it. Do I amplify? Do I exaggerate to make things entertaining? Sure, but when I tell you the WNBA sucks, I mean it sucks. When I tell you I'm impressed by a WNBA player, when I told you guys a couple of weeks ago that Carla Light, the point guard for the Portland Aspire, when I told you that I was impressed, when I told you she was a great player who's not getting the recognition that she deserves, I meant it. And I mean it when I say Angel Reese would be a great role player if she was willing to swallow her pride and accept the fact she's not a star player. Whether right or wrong, I'm honest. And that is the problem with ESPN. They are trying to convince us that the turd in the hot dog bun is actually a hot dog. Don't worry about the color, it was just overcooked. ESPN's coverage of the WNBA is almost as bad as the league itself. Hell, it might be worse. One thing I do respect about WNBA players, they are honest. I might not agree with Natasha Cloud, but I can at least respect the fact that she's honest about being a communist. I don't agree with men being allowed to play in the WNBA, but I can respect the fact that WNBA players are so unselfish. They are so generous. They are willing to lose their jobs and be unemployed so men can fulfill their dreams of playing in the WNBA. The only ones refusing to be honest is ESPN, and they are not doing themselves, and they're damn sure not doing the WNBA any favors. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys later.